Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and every year Google's newest flagship or their budget option gets extensively leaked pretty much all over the web around a month or so before it comes out, and the brand new Google Pixel 9a is no exception. So in today's video I've put together this one-stop shop for everything Google Pixel 9a related. Now I've scoured the internet to find all of the images, videos, leaks, specs, whatever I can about the 9a, and it's all going to be in this one video today. And with heavy competition from the iPhone with the iPhone 16e and also some other budget Android options, is it now a good time to wait for Google's next offering, or can you jump into something else round about now? Let's take a look. Now we're going to split this video into 5 different sections. We've got the design, internals, of course the camera side of things, the release date, and of course the price. So starting off with the design, and I'm pretty sure you already know what we're looking at here with the 9a because it was first leaked around August of 2024. I think this is one of the most polarizing things about the 9a because it kind of strays away from Google's design language, especially looking at their most recent devices. From the Google Pixel 6 right up until the 9 Pro that we've got now, you've always had a camera visor along the back. Now don't get me wrong, on the 9 Pro and also the 9 Pro Fold, it has a slightly different design to it, but it's unmistakably a Pixel device. Now for the Pixel 9a, and like I mentioned, we got our first look at the device in August of last year. It kind of has a completely different look to it, and I'm not sure I'm a huge fan. And from then we even have more leaked images of the device all across the web, including one that was an actual camera sample from the new Samsung Galaxy Edge that is also coming out later this year. So kind of a leak within a leak. Leakception, but as you can see the design on the back looks pretty different to the modern Pixels that we've got, and also just in general a lot of modern devices. You'll see more and more gigantic camera bumps on the back of the phones, whether it's a Chinese brand, Android, iOS, iPhone, whatever you're going to be looking at. The camera is kind of the main piece, and the camera housing and also how much it protrudes from the phone has been getting bigger and bigger for kind of the last 2 or 3 years. However, for the 9a, as you can see, it's basically a completely flat back. Now there's a very small lip around the camera, and I'm guessing that's so that if you do place it backside down on a table, for example, you're not directly coming into contact with the camera ring itself, but in general it kind of looks a little bit boring to me. Now that does mean that you're going to have very little to no table wobble when you place the phone backside down, but then again the newer Pixel devices, because the camera housing goes right across the back of the device, that also doesn't really move all that much either, especially not compared to something like the iPhone. Now you've still got that nice squared off design from the 9 and 9 Pro series, and I'm pretty sure, again like most of the A series of devices from Google, that the back side of things, although it looks very nice and shiny and glossy, it's not going to be glass, it is going to be plastic, and then you're going to have an aluminium frame all around the edge of the device. Basically it's just going to look like a Google 9 from pretty much every angle apart from the camera. And of course then we've got the screen around the front, and we'll look into the specs in just a moment, but the main thing here is going to be symmetrical bezels. From the 8A series and I think also the 7A, you had a slightly larger chin, thin sides, and a little bit at the top there, so it wasn't as symmetrical as I'd like it to be, and the 9A changes that. But the fact that it is a different design to what we've had before, and what I mean by that is, again, looking back at the A series of devices from Google, it's always been pretty much exactly the same phone that we've had from their Pro or just the standard numbered version, whereas this one, it changes up the design completely. So yes, it is going to be a completely new design here, and it's for the A series, but I just hope that they don't do this moving forward with the Google 10, for example. I really do like the current design that they've got going. I really think it kind of makes it stand out a little bit compared to some other devices, and again, you know that it's a Pixel because of that giant camera housing on the back. Love it or hate it, I think it's a really nice design staple. Also, screen size is going to be changing from 6.1 on the 8A up until 6.3 on the 9A. Now, pixel density and resolution is kind of not to be seen just yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 1080p screen at 120Hz. Hear that, Apple? A budget option with a 120Hz screen. And of course the glass will be covered in some sort of Corning solution. So I think design wise it is going to be splitting opinions, so let me know in the comments section below what you think of the 9A. So we know what it looks like, but what's going to be powering it? Well, the 9A is going to be having the Tensor G4 chip, 8GB of RAM, and it's going to be available in 128 or 256GB of storage. Now, one thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the difference in storage may also be based on the color that you're going to be getting. So the Obsidian Black and Iris Blue color, for example, are tipped to be the ones coming in at 256GB, whereas the Porcelain White and also the Peony Pink coming in at 128GB. So the chipset isn't really a surprise because again the A series of devices normally just has the same chip as the current Pixel device, but it is a little bit disappointing to see that you're not going to be able to increase the 8GB to maybe 12GB or increase the storage up to a terabyte like you can with the Pro line. So all in all, you can probably expect some solid performance out of the Pixel 9a. However, I don't think it's going to be up to the standard that you're going to get with the iPhone 16e. And that's mainly just because that the G4 chip that is even in the Google Pixel 9 Pro still isn't at the flagship level of what Apple can offer, or from Snapdragon for example. So yes, it's going to be a budget device and also with a slightly lessly powered chip compared to some other options, so we'll see how that turns out when the full release comes around. So battery wise, we're going to be having around 5000 mAh with an 18 watt fast charge option, of course with the cable, and then 7.5 watts wirelessly. And hopefully with the 1080p screen and sub flagship performance, battery life is going to be pretty darn good. Now for the part that I think 90% of people get a Pixel device for, the camera. So looking over the design leaks, you're going to have a 2-camera setup here. One of them, of course, is going to be your standard main lens and then an ultra wide. Now the main lens is rumored to be 48 megapixels compared to the 8A's 64 megapixel sensor. However, it is going to be a brand new sensor. So yes, resolution, but hopefully better images overall. And the ultra wide is going to be unchanged from the 8A, so it's going to be coming in at around 13 megapixels f2.2 with a 120-degree view. Now it's unclear if they're going to be using the same 13 megapixel front-facing camera or if they're going to be switching over to the 10.5 camera that we've had on the Google Pixel 9. However, no 48 megapixels or ultra wide option, again like we see in the more expensive Pixels. You can also expect the same 4K resolution when shooting from the rear camera. I'm pretty sure the front is going to be limited to 1080p, and of course no 8K option here. And it's also a little bit unclear in regards to the video boost or photo boost options that Google are offering on their newer Pixel devices. Now I'm not sure if that is going to be software or hardware based, so we'll see exactly how that looks moving forward. Obviously the great thing about the video boost option is you shoot your video as you normally would, save it to Google Photos, come back to it a little bit later, contrast, saturation, and just in general the video overall just looks a little bit better. So again, I'm hoping that's going to be here on the 9A. And of course that's going to be going along with all of the other Gemini features, because again, from the software side of things, the fact it's still using the same G4 chip, there's not really any limitations. Yes, the RAM is a little bit less than the 9 and the 9 Pro, but in general, all of your Gemini wants and needs should be able to be done here on the 9A. And of course, speaking of Gemini updates and just in general Android updates, I'm pretty sure it's going to be shipping, of course, with Android 15, with a very short window to wait until Android 16, and be getting around 6 to 7 years worth of software updates. So we know how it looks, we know the internals, and we know the camera's going to be pretty decent overall. So when can we actually expect the 9A? Well, based on some of the previous leaks, pre-orders are going to be going live around March 19th, and then it's going to be in people's hands, or at least shipping, by around March 26th. And you can probably expect some other information coming direct from Google, as because a lot of the time if the device does leak, like we saw with the 9 for example, they do also start to put some things on their social media and just in general on the Google Store website in regards to the upcoming device, so maybe that will come along in the next week or so. And of course with the announcement of the iPhone 16e coming in at £599 or dollars, what's the price point going to be for the 9A? So I'm pretty sure price wise we're going to be sticking to what we've got with the 8A, so starting at $499 for the 128GB version, and then going up to $599 to match Apple, but that's going to be for 256 gigs. So quickly getting up to that $600 price tag for the 9A, so you may want to consider the 9 moving forward at $799. Again, I think the way that Google are doing it is basically doing a price point for every single tier, much like Apple are doing, Samsung, pretty much every company does this, where the next upgrade isn't really too much money and the next one above that isn't too much, so before you know it, you're spending £1,000 on the 9 Pro. Or at least that's the plan. So price wise, it does look like it's going to compete pretty solidly with the iPhone 16e. Now, of course, iPhones sell like hotcakes regardless of features, bad screen, or just in general recycled and old designs, so we'll see exactly how it's going to be looking moving forward when we look at the iPhone compared to the Pixel when it comes to the budget option. But of course, budget $600, that can't really go in the same sentence here. They're basically more mid-tier devices, slightly just below the flagships. But that's going to do it, guys, for all of the rumors that I've been able to find on the Google Pixel 9a. Now, of course, let me know in the comments section down below if this device sounds like something that you want to be getting hold of, and if not, why not? Are you going to be looking at the iPhone 16e, or maybe just pressing up the price side of things and going for the 9 or even the 9 Pro moving forward? Of course, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. This is kind of the first rumor type speculation video that I've done here on the channel, so if you want to see more of this kind of thing moving forward, then again, let me know in the comment section. If you're not already subscribed, now's a great time to do so, and of course, once you've hit that subscribe button, don't forget to turn on notifications so you're notified anytime I post a video here on the channel. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass, thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.